Records, violations of national security laws, you name it, Judicial Watch has compiled more than enough evidence to justify the lawful arrest of Hillary Clinton.
Wow, what a crowd here today. Welcome to Washington, D.C. This is the swamp. We need your help draining it. I want to get a few things on the record. I reject socialism. Do you? I reject communism. I reject racial separatism. I reject open borders. What do we embrace? We have to embrace the Constitution. We have to embrace the rule of law. Yes, even for Hillary Clinton. We're facing a rule of law crisis here in the United States. The President of the United States is under assault from the coup cabal that wants to undo the 2016 election. They tried lawlessly to keep him out of office, and once he won office, they're trying lawlessly to remove him. We must oppose that because it's not just about President Trump. It's about our right to govern ourselves. Are we going to let the deep state tell us who's going to be president, or are we going to let the elections decide who's president? Judicial Watch is second to none in figuring out what the deep state's up to. We've uncovered the Clinton emails. We've uncovered the illegal targeting of President Trump, the bias of the Mueller investigation, all of these efforts by the coup cabal to target President Trump. And we're going to see it again tomorrow with the Mueller circus hearings that the Democrats are putting on. I tell you what, if Mueller was doing his job, he would have questioned some of the Democrats in his investigation of Russia collusion. And I want to talk a little bit about Hillary Clinton. If there was no Hillary Clinton campaign, there would have been no Russiagate hoax. Hillary Clinton's campaign paid for that shady dossier that used fake Russia intelligence to smear the President of the United States, or then candidate Trump. No Hillary Clinton campaign, no dossier, no Russia hoax, no special counsel investigation. And boy, wasn't that all convenient for her, because it had the effect of preventing her from being prosecuted by an honest Justice Department for her email misconduct and classified violations of laws against the mishandling of classified information. Hillary Clinton. There's more than enough evidence to justify Attorney General Barr's Justice Department reopening the Hillary Clinton criminal investigation. Look, it's about time that the rule of law apply to the swamp dwellers here in Washington, D.C. The president is... We're told the president is above the law, but Hillary Clinton is. The Democrats who conspired to take out the president are. The FBI and Justice Department who abused their spying powers to target then candidate Trump and the president, they're above the law? No, that can't be the case. Attorney General Barr needs to investigate the investigators, and if he won't, Judicial Watch is already. Now, of course, I talked about Hillary Clinton's involvement in Russiagate, but all of that would have been for naught if she didn't have friends in the Obama administration to do her dirty work for her, to collude with her to spy on President Trump. Barack Obama allowed his agencies, and I think authorized them, to spy on his political opposition. I tell you what, Barack Obama makes Richard Nixon seem like an amateur, doesn't he? Mueller's going to be questioned under oath tomorrow. I'd like to see Hillary Clinton questioned under oath, and I'd like to see Barack Obama questioned under oath. As I say, the rule of law is under assault with the targeting of President Trump, because I tell you what, if they can go after the president lawlessly and get away with it, do you think that you'll be protected in the long run? Of course not. This is an attack on our constitutional republic, and it's a broad attack. It includes violence. You remember the Kavanaugh hearings? You know, the media didn't cover this, but there was violence during the Kavanaugh hearings. There was rioting during the Kavanaugh hearings. They were trying to overthrow the Senate during the Kavanaugh hearings. And of course, those of you who are conservatives on college campuses and elsewhere, you see the intimidation and violence that occurs on a regular basis. The left has taken this, succumbed to this violence that's really shaking the republic. People should not be in fear of expressing themselves on political issues for fear of being physically hurt. But that's the day, that's what we're facing now from the violent left. And senators allowed it to go on, and now Trump cabinet officials have been targeted. We have to stand against the political violence of the left. So the presidency's been under assault, you've been under assault, and of course our nation generally is under assault with this open borders mania the left has taken up. No borders means no sovereignty, means no rule of law, and effectively would erase the distinction between citizens and non-citizens. It would erase America. If you support illegal immigrants, if you support their human rights, I tell you, you want to shut down the human trafficking operations that's fueling the border crisis. Instead, the left, including many elected members of Congress, are encouraging this affront to human rights. So those of us who support the rule of law on immigration are actually the ones trying to defend the human rights of the illegal aliens caught up in these human trafficking operations. We should not be embarrassed for defending the rule of law. It protects us and it protects those caught up in the illegal aliens. I've got this kind of unique approach to handling the illegal immigration crisis. It's kind of an old-fashioned approach. It's called enforcing the law. If you're here illegally, you should go home. And it's the job of the federal government to make sure our laws are enforced. And let me tell you this, these sanctuary cities that oppose the enforcement of the laws against illegal immigration and are getting in the way of the feds enforcing the law and are actually aiding and abetting these illegal alien criminals show you that they are willing to put politics before your personal safety. You have illegal aliens who have committed violent crimes being released onto the streets because of these sanctuary cities. These leftist open borders politicians, they don't care about your personal safety. They don't care about the public safety because they're looking to score political points, and I think the big issue they have there is that they're trying to get the votes of illegal aliens. It's not about, amnesty is not about the Hispanic vote, it's about the illegal alien vote. Incredible. Which brings us to our next big topic. How many of you voted this matter? How many of you will vote for the first time in 2020? Well, do you think you should be able to, you should have to show your voter ID in order to vote? Well, you know what? You probably won't have to, because most states don't have voter ID. Have you registered to vote? Who's going to register to vote for 2020? Okay, do you know that you don't have to prove your citizenship to vote? Isn't that incredible? You just sign a declaration saying that you're eligible to vote because you're a citizen. We need voter ID, and we need citizenship verification. My gosh, you need an ID to get on a plane. Certainly you should need it to exercise your right to vote. And I tell you what, this idea of voter fraud, the left pretends it doesn't exist. Of course it exists. You have millions of aliens here in the United States. Many of them register to vote, and many vote illegally. And then, of course, you have your other old-fashioned voter fraud where they steal votes of people. I want your first votes not to be stolen by voter fraud. That's a civil rights issue we should be fighting for. Illegal immigration, voter fraud, the assault on the president, the assault on Congress, the violence behind the intimidation of Congress. And then, of course, we have judges that are out of control as well. Look, if you're a politician, you can oppose other politicians who don't share your values. But when you're a judge, you're not supposed to be a politician. I'm tired of the judicial harassment of President Trump. Judges are supposed to apply the law, not write it according to their own political values. And I know the president talked about all the judges he appointed earlier today. He talked about that, right? That's why they hate President Trump so much, because this is a legacy. Some of these judges are going to be around when you're having kids yourselves. And the left is going crazy at the idea that he's able to do this. He already has had 2 Supreme Court appointments. He may get more. So you can see the Republicans is under assault from all sides. They're attacking our Congress. They're attacking our president. They're attacking the judiciary by misusing it for the political purposes. Our border is out of control. And of course, our vote is under attack. Our republic is on the brink. And so it's important you recognize the significant problem as you become active in politics over the next few years. The stakes are high, the stakes are real. And let me just say, there is a way forward. We aren't the solution, but Judicial Watch is part of the solution. Judicial Watch uses the Freedom of Information Act to pry loose government documents about scandals they don't want you to know about. We uncovered Benghazi. We uncovered the Obama IRS scandal. We uncovered the Clinton email scandal. Fast and furious. We have over 50 lawsuits just on the deep state assault on President Trump alone, doing more than Congress and the fake news media to uncover the truth about this abuse of power. We're cleaning up the election rolls. You know, in many states, like in California, they have more people on the rolls than are living there. Think about that. So you got 5 people living there, and they've got 10 people on the rolls. What do you think they're doing with those extra 5 people? As a result of a Judicial Watch lawsuit, Los Angeles County is going to remove up to 1.6 million inactive voters from their rolls. Kentucky's going to remove 250,000 potentially from their rolls. We have to make sure all the states are taking reasonable steps to make sure that if someone dies, they're no longer giving an opportunity to vote. And of course, the left opposes that. The left opposes voter ID. The left opposes citizenship verification. The left wants to give the right to vote to non-citizens. The left opposes cleaning up voter rolls. Why is it you think the left opposes all that? I know what I think. I think the left wants to be able to steal elections when necessary. I mean, if you can vote next year and there's stealing elections, your vote's negated. All this talk about policy, lower taxes, smaller government, defending our borders, it's all a joke if you don't have a say in how your government's run and your elections are stolen. This is a core issue. And Judicial Watch is just one group. But you need to be active as well. You should be asking questions of your elected representatives, and we should be holding them accountable to the rule of law. Just yesterday, Judicial Watch filed an ethics complaint with the House Ethics Committee demanding an investigation of the potential marriage fraud, IRS fraud, immigration fraud of Ilhan Omar. The leftist media has been protecting this person from the overwhelming evidence of potential criminal misconduct. And obviously the House Ethics Committee should take action to make sure she's in compliance with the ethics rules and the law. And there's more than enough information out there, credible information, for the Justice Department, the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and the IRS to open up criminal investigations into Congressman Ilhan Omar. Because Judicial Watch's motto and motivation is, because no one is above the law. Thank you. I'm going to take questions. There you go.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
My name is Brandon, and I've come here all the way from Hawaii.
Ah, Hawaii.
Yeah, and if you can believe it, I'm actually an actor and a singer. And obviously, I know that the arts right now, it's very progressive, and I know it's largely influenced by the deep state. So I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on someone like me, where I'm so passionate about really pursuing my craft, but I'm facing insurmountable odds?
Well, just keep on doing what you're doing. All you can do is what you can do. You can't necessarily do everything out there to save the country, but you can take the steps individually. So keep on following your passion, but stick to your principles, because you want to be able to go to sleep at night that you've done the right thing every day for your country. People have given their lives for our country. We should at least stick up for the principles that we all share. Yes.
We'll take another one in the middle. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So you've obviously seen tremendous success with Judicial Watch. Could you just provide some background on how you got it off the ground?
Well, it was already here when I started with it 21 years ago. I was only, I think, 29 when I began at Judicial Watch. So I was pretty young. But, you know, we began during the Clinton years. And there was a lot of Clinton corruption then that needed to be investigated. Hillary Clinton was almost prosecuted. Did you know that? For lying and obstructing justice. And here we are, 20 years later, still talking about her obstruction and lies. Judicial Watch, I always thought it was interesting that President Trump was doing well. I guess it was not surprising in many ways, because Judicial Watch saw that the American people want the rule of law enforced for its rulers. They're tired of the corruption in Washington, D.C., and President Trump addressed that. You know, I know a lot of people are upset that Hillary Clinton wasn't prosecuted, but there was some rough justice for her, because on Election Day, the American people kind of sat as a grand jury and convicted her, didn't they?
Hi, my name name's Steven, and it seems just kind of a wild concept to be against a voter ID. So what do they say what is their reason to not have a voter ID?
Oh, you want to guess what they say? What do they always say? The race card. They take the race card out. And of course, they denigrate minorities by doing so because they suggest minorities can't figure out how to get voter ID, which is bunk. The fact is, minorities are victimized by voter fraud in ways that the majority populations aren't. Because it's in urban areas where minorities are more prevalent that you've got more opportunities for voter fraud caused by lack of voter ID. And the evidence shows that when you have more voter ID, more secure elections, minority turnout increases. Because you're not going to vote if your vote's not going to count. And they're not stupid. They understand when there's corruption, they're not going to bother participating in the election process. But if they're assured that voter ID and other security measures will make sure their votes will count, minority turnout increases. Everyone agrees with voter ID. The left has taken control of the issue to try to stop it. But this is a case where the large majority of Americans agree with us on it. Go ahead.
I guess this is a follow-up to the Hillary Clinton investigation. You said why she wasn't prosecuted. Do you think in my lifetime, or I guess in the next 5 years, are we ever going to see Eric Holder or McCabe or anyone truly prosecuted, or should we as Republicans move on and go find the battle we can win?
Well, that's a good question. I think some of these characters may get prosecuted. Someone like Eric Holder, time has passed sufficiently that he may escape prosecution for any crimes he committed under Barack Obama, and I'm not saying he did or not. But the statute of limitations has not run on Hillary Clinton's email scandal, and we should be demanding accountability. It doesn't mean that you will get the result you desire, but we want the process to work. We don't want another sham investigation of Hillary Clinton, because that happened during the Obama administration. That's not justice. We want justice, and that means an honest, fair prosecution and investigation of the Clinton email scandal. It's not too much to ask, and I hope, and we should encourage, that Attorney General Barr does this. And this, I think he wants to, because the left suspects he wants to, certainly, because that's why they hate him. And that's why they're attacking him and trying to push him out of office.
I'm Jesse Sebring from Georgia. And in your opinion, I'm curious, why has America not been pushing more backlash on Ilhan Omar and other congresswomen, men that are anti-Semitic or hold anti-Israel views? Why?
Because the left controls the media, and the left has this nasty strain of anti-Semitism that goes back over 100 years. They've been notoriously anti-Israel. So anti-Semitism and the left have been kissing cousins for a long time. It's no surprise that the left is defending the nasty anti-Semitism of folks like Ilhan Omar and Tlaib and other folks like that, because it's been part of the leftist ideology for years. And in many ways, the left is anti-Israel the same way the left is anti-America. They see it as two peas in a pod. Yes?
Hi, thank you so much for speaking to us. It's an honor to hear from you. My name is Yakira. I'm from Boca Raton, Florida. And my question is, Cherie Murray, who is running as a Republican woman against AOC, do you think she has a chance? And if so, how can we rally behind her and help her win?
Oh, I don't do elections. I don't do elections. So putting on a neutral hat, it's going to be tough for a Republican to win up there because it's so Democrat in orientation, her district. You win the Democratic primary, you win the election in her district. But if you're concerned about her policies, whether you vote for or against her, I'm not going to comment on. But we have to oppose them as activists. As I said in the beginning, we have to reject socialism. It would be the end of our country if socialist policies like she's promoting would prevail. And we can't assume because they're bad that they'll lose. There are countries that have been destroyed by socialism, run by people just as smart as we are, who love freedom just as much as we do. And yet socialism destroyed those countries. We can't let that happen here.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel Ballard. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA. My question is, does Judicial Watch have any internships, possibly for college students?
Oh, we do have internships. So if you're interested in interning with Judicial Watch, the #1 group in Washington, D.C., combating government corruption, contact us. We have internships during the spring, fall, summer. What are the other seasons? Then the winter. So yes.
Hi, my name is Trace. I'm from Washington State, and I just wanted to get at a personal note on how would you comment on the unethical treatment and possibly the unlawful treatment of Brett Kavanaugh?
You know, I went to the Kavanaugh hearings. As I said, I saw the violence in person. The first set of hearings, you had people standing up and screaming in the back and resisting arrest, placing themselves at risk, the police who had to drag them out at risk, and those trying to watch the hearings at risk. The hearings would come to a halt. Staffers in the Hill were in fear for their personal safety because of the violence and intimidatory atmosphere on the Hill. You had mass demonstrations, essentially riots, as I said, in the offices on the Hill there. It was unbelievable. And of course, they were willing to lie about and smear an honorable good man, Justice Kavanaugh. You have to wonder what will happen for the next Supreme Court justice. And I am upset that the Senate did not take action against the senators who violated Senate rules to try to destroy Kavanaugh, like Cory Booker, who released material he wasn't allowed to release. Really outrageous. So once again, it's up to the activists to let their senators know, we don't want this to happen again. They not only have to defend the nominee from feeling threatened, but they have to defend the Senate and our constitutional system from the violent left. The violent left is a key threat right now. This is the final question. I got your last question. Sorry, guys.
I'm Cohen Campbell from Tennessee.
Hi.
So my question is, how deep is the deep state?
Well, virtually every public employee who works for the federal government, in theory, is part of the deep state. So you're talking about millions of individuals. Look, when a Republican president takes over, they have, like, say, 4,000 to 5,000 people they appoint over agencies that have tens and hundreds of thousands of employees. Who do you think runs the show in those circumstances? And with President Trump, it's been really hostile. You've had appointees career civil servants who have torpedoed and sought to undermine the president's policies beyond like anything we have seen. We don't want to be run by the deep state. We want to be running it. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you.